So let's talk about H. pylori. That is one thing that I was diagnosed with, and it probably was there when I was diagnosed with the SIBO. So I'm assuming the H. pylori actually caused the SIBO in my situation back in October when I started having really bad SIBO symptoms. SIBO is small intestinal bowel overgrowth. That means that the good, sometimes bad bacteria in my colon went up into my small intestines and decided to infest it, making it hard to eat anything, giving me loads of gas, diarrhea, and then later constipation because it turned into methane gas versus hydrogen. So if you don't know the difference, I have a SIBO video, go visit that. H. pylori, though, can infect your stomach and can keep your pancreatic enzymes from actually being functional. It can lower the pH in your stomach. It can do a lot of damage. So H. pylori is interesting. If you start doing the research, you will see that it does a ton of damage, not only to the stomach, to the lining of the stomach. It causes gastritis. It causes all these slew of issues. And so my timeline with H. pylori, so I've always had like upper stomach pain consistently since I had my gallbladder removed. I didn't start having really bad upper stomach pain until October, when the SIBO kicked in, which we thought was SIBO, but probably was H. pylori, but then turned into SIBO. Anyway, I tested positive for H. pylori, finally, on one of the GI MAPS tests, and it was pretty damn high. Went on, and this was about a month and a half ago, had so the symptoms for me were stomach cramping, a lot of stomach cramping, like almost instantly after I ate, and especially if I ate something that my stomach didn't agree with, sugar, carbs, anything that was like a stimulant. Coffee became a problem. My stomach would just flip over coffee just instantly, even if it was decaf, which really sucks. So I had intolerances to food, very bad stomach cramps that actually have worked their way out into my abdominal wall as well, and we'll talk about that with post-infectious IBS, because that definitely is something I have right now that I'm having to deal with. Stomach cramping, intolerance to foods, hangry is my favorite word for it. So it's hungry and angry at the same time. It's like your stomach is so hungry that you're angry, that it's hangry. It's like going to eat you from the inside out. That is a common descriptive, very good descriptive word for H. pylori if it's kind of gotten out of control. Hangry all the time. Like, I could just eat, and within 5 minutes, I'm still hangry, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But then below my stomach, I'd start getting cramps, and I'm like, well, I can't eat anymore because I'm getting cramps, but my stomach is hungry, and it's kind of like this crazy loop that you wind up in, right? And I had significant, like, pins and needles and sharp knife stabbing in my upper gut constantly. It would stop about an hour or two after I ate. So once most of the food was actually digested, because it takes about 4 hours for it to leave your stomach, maybe a little bit longer for some people, maybe a little bit shorter for some. But it just would be angry for 2 hours after I ate, and then I would get some relief about 2 hours afterwards with less pain. There was always pain, but it was just less stomach cramping. I also had diarrhea. So let's talk about the diarrhea for a minute. So I was tested positive for H. pylori, along with at the same time tested positive for C. Diff, which I'll do that in a different video. I was GHD positive for C. diff, but not toxin positive, but showing all the signs and symptoms. So that video will be in my next video. The H. pylori, though, my naturopath and I have been working on trying to figure out, like, did the diarrhea come from the H. pylori or did the C. diff cause it? And if I'm only GDH positive for C. diff, so I'm a carrier, would it actually have caused all of the symptoms that I'm seeing? We don't know. But I do know this. I went on the H Pylori medication. The first round that I did was Flagyl, or it's called metroconazole, Flagyl. Just look that up. There's another name for it. You know what I'm saying, like the generic name. And amoxicillin and omeprazole. So that was my triple deal. I also added Pepto as a fail-safe, you know, because Pepto actually will kill H. pylori. However, it can't do it on its own. So it needs helpers. It needs the amoxicillin. It needs, you know, these other things. And the reason for the 2 antibiotics, so amoxicillin is, most H. pylori is susceptible to being killed by amoxicillin, but usually it needs a helper. And so that's why you add Flagyl in. That's why you would add, there's a few others. If you look up triple round therapy for H. pylori, you can find it. Anyway, the bloating, that was a symptom. Bloating went down within 2 days, almost instantly, with the Flagyl and the amoxicillin and omeprazole on board. The stomach cramps and stomach pain didn't go away, really didn't go away. The upper stomach pain did subside, which was nice. Fast forward, still having issues, and Diarrhea was my second round of antibiotics that I took. That is a brand new antibiotic that they just came out with, and it's Talicia, Diarrhea. I believe it's rifabutin, amoxicillin, and omeprazole all mixed into one pill, so it makes it easier to take, and it's 4 times a day. Did that for 14 days, and that seemed to be the thing that kind of knocked it out. I've tested positive now, or negative now, twice, but continue to have significant stomach cramping, and so that'll be in my next video. But for H. pylori, the Flagyl and the amoxicillin seem to help the most right off the get. The Diarrhea seemed to knock it out completely. So if you can get your insurance to pay for it, that would be the route I would go.